For as long as I have been playing Apex Legends, not once have I ever gone through what my keybinds are and how I've been customizing everything to help with my gameplay. And not even just in this game, but it's reflected in PUBG and so many other games that I've been playing. Today, a huge thank you to Logitech G for sponsoring my content. Of course, my keyboard, my mouse, and everything upon it. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of hand gameplay of what some of my binds are. So in the firing range here, we can test out a ton of different things. And whenever a game has stuff like this, I love to practice in it. One of the biggest changes that I made to my gameplay that immediately helps, that you can easily do right now, is changing your heals up. Especially on PC, you have so many buttons to use. I set my heal as the back button on my mouse thumb. And when I pull this, it'll bring up my whole wheel. Grab some meds here. I try and keep my battery, since it's one of the most important heals, as my primary slot so I can see how many of them I have. But outside of that, that's the only real hotkey I use for it. When I'm actually going to use my heals, though, typically I use the proper hotkey to save time in terms of pulling the wheel up, having to select it, then click it, then click again. It adds another half a second or even full second to you having to select, depending on what's going on in the battle or whatever, that you can easily just do by hitting the proper hotkey. So I set my pinky key, caps lock, as my battery. The best part about this is I can hit this even while moving, strafing, jumping, doesn't matter what I'm doing. I can continually move, and that is literally the most important heal. It's the fastest health you can get per second of any of them. My other shield heal is through my X key. The best thing that I always typically do is use my thumb for this. So taking it off of the spacebar, I can simply click X. Giving my shields a recharge. And again, it doesn't take anything away from my other keys. WASD are free. It only takes something away from jump, I guess, but I can even still hit those semi-simultaneously, and I really don't need to. The movement is more important in a lot of ways, and I can also still slide while that's happening. As for my syringes and med kits, typically those are a little slower, so I keep those as 4 for my syringes and 5 for my med kits, since typically I don't really throw those into battle. 6 is also my Phoenix kit, but a lot of times I'll just use my thumb anyways, because it's just as hard for me to reach up and hit that, and it's something that I typically would just use in a full reset anyways. The other thing that I've done is I've switched, and you can do this interchangeably with a lot of different keys, but for me, I've set my melee as F. It really is interesting because it depends what game I'm playing that I'll change my melee key a little bit, but I've gotten very used to F in most of the games that I'm playing because it's so close to the other ones. Now, I'm not going to be able to strafe right because I do have to let go of D in order for it to work, but it's still something that's very close, easy to hit. Actually, in a lot of games, I'll also set it as my back mouse button as well, so that I can press it basically as a panic button, right? Just hit it, and if somebody gets too close to you, or use it as a finishing combo, you can still, again, use your keys to continue to move. I do still keep Q as my main ability, and Z for the ultimate. Those are easy keys to hit. In a similar vein, a lot of times it takes another second in order to pull the grenades out, so I've left that on G, and typically I will use the cycle wheel, keep my arc stars always ready if I do have any, and it's a simple quick hit on G to set up and Kobe the frag. In addition to using C, I also use Control to crouch. That's actually my hold to crouch, whereas my C is just toggle crouch. I can let it and leave it. And the reason I have that is also the same reason that I have scroll wheel bound to jump. Back scroll actually makes me jump. It's an easy way to just throw it in and actually do some bunny hopping. In certain games, and specifically Apex, it has some benefits to it. And I made a tutorial video about it, but it's also been nerfed quite a bit since then. Versus a regular heal, where I might slide and take it, and yeah, it gives me some extra good distance here, but look how much farther I can go if I give it a proper hop. I can go, hop, and that brings me out almost double the distance there. And if I continue to hop, then it keeps a lot more of the momentum, and it also makes me a harder small target because I'm crouched hopping around. I found this extremely helpful to always be hopping around. I hope this helps you guys out in terms of your own gameplay, whether it's an Apex, COD, or whatever you might be playing these days, and setting up some hotkeys. I think the biggest things are to separately set your heals into something that is not going to interfere with you moving around, so you can continue to run, dodge, and heal if it is applicable in your game, as well as setting crouch to a button that you're not going to need for some of your other movement-based abilities. That way you continually crouch, peek different angles, and can still aim, shoot, everything appropriately at the same time. It took me a while to build up a lot of muscle memory, especially for my thumb and my pinky, but it has been hugely worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, a huge shout out to Logitech G for being a fantastic sponsor of my content, for hooking me up with the awesome keyboard to make all this happen, the G Pro X, as well as, of course, the G Pro Wireless. Since I've gone wireless, I just can't even go back with my mouse. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. StoneMountain 64, over and out.